Welcome back to Pedal Down 4x4, and on today's episode of the Long Travel Build, we're building spindles. Alright you guys, so we need to build spindles for the 4runner, for the long travel kit. Now, could you run the spindle as it is? Yeah, you could. Of course you could. However, this section up here is pretty weak when it comes to the 3rd gen 4runners and the 1st gen Tacomas. They are known to bend and or crack. So we're going to be gusseting this. We're also going to be putting in some new wheel bearings into this guy. So we need to press in wheel bearings on the press. And as well as we need to rustify this whole thing. It's all kind of messed up. These spindles are actually off of a 1st gen Tacoma that I had in here kind of a while ago. It was a parts truck out of my friend's truck. He needed the frame, so I pulled out the transmission and I kept these spindles for this exact reason. This is over a year ago. I knew I was going to go to a long travel kit and I really wanted to keep my manual hubs. However, to get the manual hub conversion, it's a lot more money with the actual CV axle itself. It's not a readily available part. It is a custom order part. Whereas long travel axles, you can just buy them. So we're going back to auto hubs, which is good in a way, I guess. But we're going back to auto hubs on the 4runner. So we are going to be, we really need this bit right here. So this is the actual wheel hub itself. We need this part because it is different on the auto versus manual. The auto hubs, the way it keeps the bearing preload and everything is through the torque of the CV axle's nut. So when you're torquing this axle down, that holds the assembly really together. When it comes to the manual hub, there is a I can actually grab it. Ugh. This is the manual hub right here, and you can see, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there's a big ass nut, and that nut keeps everything pressed into place. So I did need these hubs, and because these spindles are in not too terrible a shape, I figure why not just rebuild these spindles instead. So I have wheel bearings and seals from Trail Gear. We're gonna be pushing those in. But first, we need to get these guys out. There's a few little steps, and this process does take a lot of force. You do need, I mean, I have seen guys use a big ass hammer on the wheel and that stuff, but I'm not doing that. You will require a 20-ton press for this. I do have one in the corner of the garage. So we're going to get into pressing out these the wheel hubs, and then we're going to get to taking out the bearing, as well as we're gonna just start grinding this thing down. So let's get started. Okay, so first step, what we're gonna do is I already pulled out the upper ball joints this morning. I did work on one truck, just a basic service, but you have a dust shield right here, a little seal. So we're gonna get this guy out. Where is my chisel? I need a small hammer. This little hammer should be fine. Holy shit, did I catch that on camera? Bruh. Hell yeah. Okay, so I have the press set up right now. These rod straps are actually holding this thing together just because the way this, I don't have the proper press plates is basically what's going on. So I am pushing on the actual wheel hub itself. I'm going to stand in the corner because this thing is hella scary, so that I don't get shot. Oh, Jesus. So now that this is pressed kind of a lot, we do have a couple little rings here. You're gonna want to keep those. Now we need to put some blocks on this guy so it doesn't the studs don't actually get messed up. So we're gonna take this guy apart. Okay. So now that that's done, we can release the pressure and we should have our wheel hub separated now. So you can see the bearing is still going to be in there. Okay. Now we have our wheel hub. All right. So this is the main part that I was looking for this build. This is the actual hub assembly itself. It's brand new. This truck actually only had like 15 or no, sorry, it had like 40,000 miles on it. And it just sat because somehow the camshaft sprocket blew up and the whole motor seized over and they just didn't drive it. But anyway, so that is the hub. We're gonna clean this up later on. And now we have our knuckle. So this is gonna be your knuckle. There's another seal in here, which I can pop off very quickly on camera. Ow. I just hit my thumb. Okay, so that is the seal, and then here is your wheel hub. So you're gonna have a big ass snap ring in here, and then we just press it out. So let me get this snap ring out, which is the bane of my existence, is getting these snap rings out. You know, you would think that, oh, Kobe, you have all these specialized tools in your garage. Ow! You must have a snap ring pliers, and you would be wrong. I actually do not own, or I have snap ring pliers, but I don't have ones for these because I rarely do wheel bearings on these trucks. Which, when it comes to times like this, that is a real problem. So hopefully we can just grab this with this little needle nose pliers. We can pinch this guy together. Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be the bane of my existence. Yep, it's happening. It's happening on camera. Come on, Charlie. Just come on out of there. Okay, so I have it. Ah, you. I need a something to wedge in there. I'll just use this flathead. Okay, let's try that again, but I'll be more prepared this time. There we go. Ah, bruh. This is what insanity looks like. Come on, bruh. Don't do this to me. Don't do me like this. Not in front of the camera. I thought working on cars goes smoothly. Oh yeah, it does all the time. Ow, you. God damn it. Hate snap rings. It's the bane of my fucking existence. Ah, you. It's gonna be a lot of swearing on this one segment. Come on, you bruh. Holy I'm about to commit pretty soon, I swear to God, bruh. Oh, sorry. I just want the snap ring. Just give me the snap ring. Okay. Huh. So once you get one side of the snap ring out, then you can just kind of curl it up here, and she will eventually come out. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Now we're cooking. Yeah, and also it may seem like I'm forcing the snap ring out. I'm really not. You will feel it. If it starts binding up, then you're gonna want to stop, because you do want to reuse this guy. There we go. And that's your snap ring. It is still perfectly flat. That's what you want. Okay, so now let's see this bearing that probably blew the up. We got the outer section. What the hell? Interesting. That's supposed to be one piece. So now that this bearing is basically free, we're gonna go from the other side and we are going to press it all the way out. So let's get it back on the press and let's keep pressing. All right, same setup. We're gonna turn the compressor back on. Now we're gonna start pressing this guy out. Now usually it takes like 20 tons of pressure, but I guess we'll find out how much it takes today. Okay, so that actually went by way easier than it usually takes. That only broke loose at about 10 tons. I want to say 10 tons of pressure, which might be the easiest one I've ever had. They usually take around 20 to 25 tons of force to actually get this guy off. All right, you guys, so we already got this knuckle basically stripped down. It is naked now. There's nothing in here anymore. So what we're gonna do, or what I'm gonna do now, is off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and press the other spindle out, and we're gonna start cleaning this guy up and getting it ready to weld on the new stuff, and we can start pressing in all the new stuff. So I'm gonna start taking this guy apart. I'll come back to you guys when they're both naked, and we'll start grinding these down and make them nice and fresh and ready to weld. All right, you guys. So I got both of the bearings and everything pressed out of both of the knuckles, or each knuckle. I'm gonna just do it off camera, to be honest with you. All I'm gonna do is wire wheel this guy down and get all the rust off. It's really nothing to be like, oh wow, I'm gonna watch this. So I'm gonna just clean up both of the knuckles, get them nice and clean, and then I'm gonna go grab the boxes for the knuckle brace kit, and then we're gonna start welding on the actual braces for the gussets. And then once those are done, then I'll show you guys how to repress everything in, make it good, and then the spindles will be built and we are ready to start installing the long travel stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go clean these up. I will be right back with you guys once they are nice and shiny, or clean or whatever. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so these are the gussets that I got from Snowbound Customs. I already have this one kind of set to tack, but it comes in 3 main pieces. You're gonna have there's another piece over here, but you weld that on after. But what you want to do is, this is your main gusset piece that just kind of slides on like that, and then you're gonna have this top bit, this top piece right here, that slides in like this, and then you need to kind of like get it to where it's going to be sitting correctly how you want it to sit as such. I already got this one on this clamp, so it's pretty much even exactly how I want it. So what you're going to do is you're going to just tack these pieces. I want to tack it in 4 places, and then once it's where I want it to be, I can go ahead and move this up. Well, there went that. But anyway, when you do run this, I'm gonna just show it on the top. This obviously this piece goes on the bottom, but when you put it on the stuff, you want it to be perfectly centered in there so your ball joint will actually go in correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this guy tacked up. It was sitting right where I wanted it to sit, but this is always fun. Anywho, I'm going to get this thing back to where it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and tack them, and then we're going to start welding this gusset into the spindle. So yeah, let me tack this up. Alright, so I pretty much got this guy tacked to where I want it. It is centered in here. Let me move this guy down. You guys can kind of see in there. So it's tacked up, it's ready to weld. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to relay some full beads on here, taking a break every 1.5 inches or so to let it cool down. I don't want to warp anything, which I don't even think it would warp because of this gusset, but just in case, we don't want to be fatiguing anything. So you guys can see right here, it'll be a pretty easy, smooth weld. So yeah, I'm going to get to welding this. I'll throw you guys on a time lapse. I need to go throw my welding jacket on as well as some pants so I don't burn my legs. And I want to get this shit done. Alright you guys, so I just finished welding this guy up. Welded all the top, the sides, down here. What you wouldn't have seen was this little gusset plate right here. This also got welded on. So we are pretty much good to go on this spindle. We are ready to press in the new bearing. The bearings on this truck fit really well. I'm not sure if that's just because it's loose. I don't know. They pressed out with only 10 tons, which is amazing. I've never had a bearing come out that easy on a 1st gen or a 3rd gen 4runner. So it's basically the same concept as we did before, except backwards. So what we're going to do is we are going to press the bearing in here. Now, when you're pressing a bearing in, make sure you are pressing on the outer race of that bearing. So you're going to press that bearing in here. We are then going to install the clip, the disgusting C-clip that I don't like. We're going to press in the hub itself. When the hub is going in, you want to put a spacer like this or something on the back side of the inner race, because you don't want to be putting pressure from the in to the out. So the inner, where the bearing is actually at, you don't want to be putting that pressure. So when we're pressing that in, you want something behind it. So basically this. Now, can it cause issues? 100%. Have I seen people do it the wrong way and be fine? I also have seen that as well. But if you're going through all this effort, you don't want to get it wrong. So make sure you do it correctly. Also, before you put this guy in, just make sure that you put on the seal, which is this seal. Or sorry, not this seal. This seal goes on the other side. This seal right here, this is the big seal. That seal gets driven on like that. So you're going to want to drive this seal on before you press that in, because if you press it in, you don't put the seal on, well, you're going to have to press it back out, and that's just a bad time. So I have the other bearing in the freezer. I'm going to take it out in a little bit, and we're going to start pressing in our new bearing. All right, so let me show you guys a setup. This is going to be your new bearing. You have 2 sides. You have this metal side, and you have this, what appears to be this black piece. Oh, what this actually is a it's a magnetized ring. So this ring will act against if you have ABS and whatnot, or speed sensor. This needs to be facing. It needs to be like that when you open it up. So let's get this guy on. This block of wood is probably screaming for its life at this point. I was never meant for this. What are you doing? Well, that's too damn bad. You keep pushing. All right, so see that? As it's doing that, that means it's pressing in square. So we're just gonna keep doing this. Okay, so now we're bottomed out on this block. So now we're gonna use a little technique here, and that's to deal with the old bearing. We're gonna put this old bearing on top of the new bearing and use that to press it in. There you go. And you'll hear it when it sits. There we go. You guys hear that ting? That means it's solid. Yeah, so this thing is no longer going to press down. This bearing might be stuck. Nope, didn't get stuck. That's good. And then you can check back here to see if it's sitted properly. And then as long as you can get the snap ring in there, then you are good to go. So let's get the snap ring on, and then we can go ahead and put on the other, the seal. All right, so we have our fresh new bearing right here. See, it's all nice and fresh. Now we're gonna try and get this C-clip in. If the C-clip can go in easily, like you're not trying to fight the thing to get it to sit or whatever, then that means you're bottomed out. So we can go ahead and easily check that, and you can see that it's pretty much in. Now to get C-clips in, it's a lot easier than pulling them out, in my opinion, when it comes to this. What you want is a small flathead screwdriver, which I seem to have right here. There we go. This is a little big, but that's what she said. You're going to go underneath the snap ring, keep this tension on one side. So here you go, right? You're going to keep this tension, put it in the groove like that, so it's riding that groove. You're going to hold it down with your thumb, get in here, and then you're going to just pop it in. So as it's sliding in, you're going to be pushing with your thumb right here, and you'll see it click in. So there you go, snap ring is in. That's done. Now we can put this seal on right here, and putting seals on is it's a very easy process when it comes to this. You're just going to tap it on each side. Okay, so now that this guy is bottomed out, there's a little bit of dings on the side, but that's not a worry for us. That's good. Now we can start pressing in our inner race. But before we do that, we want to find something that's this size. So obviously that is not it. Okay, so this guy here is going to be perfect for our what we need. So you want to put a back plate on top of this as you're pressing that guy in. So I'll bring you guys over there and I'll show you guys what I mean. And then we can start driving in the actual wheel hub itself. Okay, so I have this centerpiece down here. I changed the arbor so it fits, or arbor, or whatever the fuck it's called. Now we're going to take our entire assembly, put it back in, and take this guy off so I can line this guy up. Put this guy in there like so. Make sure it's all lined up perfectly. Now it's going to be pressing in on that inner race of the bearing, or that inner piece. Get this guy lined up. Now we make the arduous task. Oh, should just tighten that guy up. So now it's going to be pressing on the inner part of the race. Now this won't go all the way through like a manual hub spindle would. Okay, knock this guy a little to the side here. Okay, so now we're going to start pressing on here. Okay, so now it's on. We're going to start pressing. We're pressing in on that inner hub. There we go. Yeah, that. Oh yeah. You know, wait till she bottoms out. Oh, okay, now she's building a lot of pressure, so I'm not sure if that's fully seated, but it does look fully seated. Take a look, and that does look fully seated on there. You can hear it against the seal, so that is good. Let's get the rest of the bits on the back, and then we are done. Okay, so got our bearing pressed in. We got the new hub pressed, or not new, but new to us, hub pressed in. Everything is moving nice and freely. We're gonna take this thing right here. Now, I don't know if this thing is supposed to be covered in grease. It was covered in grease, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of grease on it. It is a sealed bearing, but I'm not sure if that's just Toyota things. There you go. Just a little bit, not a lot. Get that to sit on there nice and good. Okay. That's spinning. I'm gonna put a little bit more grease on the top of that. Like I said, I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it. I just noticed that there was grease on it, and I know this wheel bearing's never been taken apart. So, oh, here it is. So, this is the other piece. It is conical. The conical side is gonna face up towards you, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna face up towards you, just like that. Or the seal driver kit, that'll be fine. Won't cause us any issues. So let's tap this guy on. Yeah, that went on super easy, and she's sliding in, so she's spinning, so that's good. Make sure that's seated. Okay, so that part is now seated. We're good on that, and now we can get our new seal, and that is going to tap in this direction like that. So make sure that seal goes on. Okay, now that is done. That is a steering knuckle built. We are ready to go. It is all gusseted up, new bearing pressed in. We are good. All right, you guys, so we have built our steering knuckle. Last thing to do is paint it. I doubt you guys want to watch that, so I'm not even going to show it. You may have all seen that I didn't put a dust shield on, and reality is I've never ran on, and I never ran into issues. In fact, I've ran into more issues having a dust shield on. Rocks and stuff get stuck, and it causes issues, but whatever. That's just my preference. This guy's built, brand new coil bearing, brand new inner and outer seals. Everything is done. She spins absolutely beautifully. Snowbound Customs gusset kit is on the steering knuckle. It is a little bit more heavy now. So we are ready to roll with this steering knuckle. I have the other steering knuckle in the background. I need to finish one weld on it because the welder overheated. But once it cools down, then I can go ahead and weld that guy up, and I'm going to press the bearings in. I will paint it off camera. Next episode, we're going to start installing the long travel kit from BTF Fabrication. And we're one step closer to long traveling the 4runner. Till next time, and as always, thanks for watching.